Stop 72. Clear to deboard passengers. Conductor out.
Thanks for a very nice ride, miss.
My pleasure. Thanks for riding with us. Was less about hustle and working more, and more about thoughtful adjustments, accepting failure, applying learnings in order to work. Ah!
No texting on the job.
Shut up, Matt.
Matt, you got that M3 up on there?
Yes, sir. It's just like the unit would have worn when she was fresh out of the erecting hall 60 years ago.
Well, what happened with the old horn then?
That. I'm not sure. I think Neil said something about the manifold needing cleaning.
Well, he needs to learn that we can't dither about with these things like the Oak Ridge boys. He's already costing us too much money and time with that half-assembled steamer in the shop.
Neil could get 1255 done faster if more people knew the engine existed. Hey, Twyla, sorry you had to hear that.
I've heard worse out of grown men. Doing all right otherwise?
Well, apart from that little victory being hollowed out, yeah. 3360's wearing a Nathan M3 on her roof, which is what the unit would have carried back when she was new in 1956.
I could tell.
Hey, Twyla, you weren't texting on the job, were you?
No, Peter. I already clocked out. I'm still waiting on Alvin and Scott to finish up inside the shop so they can get me home.
Alright, just watch where you're doing it next time. Matt, could you get the M3 down?
I guess. We're done for the day.
Need help with that?
Probably with just passing it down to ground level. I can unbolt it just fine as soon as I can find my toolkit.
So, Peter, what was the occasion for putting that type of horn on 3360?
Well, seeing that this is one of Neil's first projects, Matt asked him if he wanted to have its as-delivered sound for its first run of the season. Neil agreed to it on the condition that Matt got video of it in action.
Okay, cool. I'm sure he did well with that. It sure was doing its job.
Well, I could hear the M3 from inside the shop. That means it's doing something right.
It sure is, Neil. You picked a good sound with that thing. I just wish I could hear it more often.
Totally. Because if someone pinches it from up there, I know who to send the bill for a new horn to.
Have you ever thought of just welding the horn up there? Because it'd be harder for most of our rabid fans to sneak up there with a metal grinding wheel in their back pocket.
Ha! Oh, if only it were that simple.
Got the horn off the manifold.
Okay, just pass it down to me.
You should have seen that young lady last week. I never thought I'd hear the words Type B mechanical stoker or rotating and bearing cap out of someone like her.
Oh yeah, on my first time meeting Twyla, she had me stumped at how she knows the stock oversized dimensions on 30's cross compound. She's only a fireman at best, but how could someone with no railroading in her bloodline know all of that?
Well, probably because she's also a volunteer with the 5344. Her uncle is one of the advisors with that Hudson.
Oh, that thing. Well, if she likes hanging around that big old glamour girl, then I guess who are we to judge?
Now, Neil, this might sound like a stretch, but with her connections with 5344 and her college emphasis on psychology, do you think she might help us in planning something for our 30th anniversary?
Why? What's there to celebrate?
Well, she's talked quite a lot about how we should get out of the railfan mindset and do more to get more people to support our business. I'm sure many of us have thought of doing it that way before, but it's like she's adding an entirely new perspective to it. Maybe she could make a convincing case that we need to step up our
And
game.
each whistle got a different reaction from our most rabid fans.
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, some of the opinions I hear are a little credible, but they'll stop at nothing to complain about something, won't they?
As someone who has to read the comments, it does wear down after a while. I mean, after all, these things have been known to make old men squeal like fangirls.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm on a high horse.
But you are on a high hood.
I think that with someone as open-minded, energetic, and as compassionate as her, that we could use her help with something greater.
Well, if you guys make it to James's desk, great. I could think of a few things myself, but what do I know?
I'll answer that for you, Neil. More than you realize. So next year marks 30 years since we started running excursions.
I guess. I just so happened to bring this up to Mr. McLaughlin over at the Milliard Belt at the dinner party last month, and he was elated. He gave us his blessing to do whatever we wanted, but...
You can't think of anything.
Well, not just that, but also the fact that we don't have as many people helping us with normal operations as we did way back when. I mean, I'd love to go back to the old grandeur the festivals of steam and NRHS conventions used to boast, but we can only do so much with what we have. I think those days are over.
Yes, but fortunately that's not what we're here to pitch.
Yeah, because you really think we can run trips with Amtrak?
We don't need Amtrak.
And how do you expect to get visiting equipment in here?
We don't need any visiting equipment.
Then what are you guys thinking of doing? I mean, there's plenty of things here for families and kids to gawk at, but we don't necessarily cater to our most rabid fans. And for all of the money that we lose on those events, that's what gets us the most exposure.
Well, funnily enough, you answered some of your question already. We're within a stone's throw of one of the fastest growing cities in the US, but it's the one that is becoming best known for nightlife. I've heard plenty of compliments from passengers about how we're one of the few family attractions in this region, and we're also one of the most exciting ones too.
What these people aren't seeing, though, is how these trains are more than just a novelty. We're not suggesting anything extravagant like the old festivals of steam, but rather something like a normal excursion with a few special additions. If it doesn't work, then we'll cut our losses and move on with things we know that do work. We're simply just asking for a chance to try something new.
Yes, but we already tried that back when we celebrated 25 years. It only gave us slightly better results with twice the amount of effort.
If you're referring to when 765 was here, we were going up against 2 nationwide events and about a dozen other local happenings. Not to mention the news media didn't spread the word of our event like they should have.
And your guys' idea would work better how?
By using social media to our advantage. Compared with traditional methods, there are lots more marketing advantages out there that are available for free. And because of us mastering it, we can sell out excursions with 53.44 in hours. Every wise business knows that great marketing doesn't automatically generate more patronage, but it does lend itself to getting our name farther out to people who have never heard of us, whether it's by word of mouth or text. These people might be curious to learn more about us.
So, what are both of you prepared to do to make this happen?
I'm already working with Matt, Neil, and the other guys on the excursion consist during our downtime. I bet by the time we set a date, we'll have the roof leaks in 2585 plugged and have the bathrooms sparkling.
Okay. And you, Twyla?
All I ask personally is to work with the person managing the museum's social media and the person working the website to help promote the event. Other than that, we're already enabled when you are.
Okay. Twyla, your first job would be to recruit enough new volunteers to make this event possible. Do you know how to do that?
I know of one way to increase leads.
A long time ago, some friends gathered at an old stomping ground. But they weren't just lamenting on the past, they had a vision.
Are we sure this is gonna work? Like, what if we need more people to help us operate?
Well, let's send out the beacon.
Over the years, this group of friends has blossomed into a non-profit, all-volunteer operation. This isn't model railroading. It's the real thing. What makes it especially great is that anyone can do it. The Greater Milliard Railway Museum needs people like you to help with the many hands-on activities on the railroad. Whether you like working outdoors or in, with visitors or in a group, or with your hands or your mind, no job is too small.
For more information, call or visit us at the Greater Milliard Railway Museum, 505 Francois Street, Nelson Falls, Missouri.
No prior experience needed, just enthusiasm and willpower. Click or call today.
So, what do we think? Is that good?
It really stirs the imagination. Who made this?
It was mostly a team effort between Matt and Twyla, two of our younger members. I understand that Twyla did the writing and Matt was on filming and editing. I think they did pretty well with what they had.
It really shows.
Good deal. So, all in favor of publishing this as is?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good. Motion passed. Now let's have a look at the promo that they made for our proposed 30th anniversary excursion.
Imagine, if you will, a place and time to leave behind your contemporary troubles and enter a world of nostalgia and fun. Coming this May, the Greater Milliard Railway Museum celebrates 30 years of preserving railroad history, with a round trip straight out of history. For one weekend only, climb aboard the Nightingale Special, an authentic, steam-powered red carpet event bound for the Sycamore Vineyard in Beaver, and arrive in style for a special VIP party perfectly suited for families, railroad fans, young adults, and more. Grab your family and loved ones for the social get-together of a lifetime aboard the Nightingale Special, only on Saturday, May 25th and Sunday, May 26th. Tickets are on sale now, and seating is very limited. Click or call today.
Thank you. This was also made by Twyla and Matt, and it sounds like they did a good job with this one too.
They did. This one really resonates with those classroom films the Association of American Railroads used to do.
Yeah, there's plenty of nostalgia trips one can take by finding the clip on YouTube. It's amazing what's out there these days. So, all in favor of this?
It's edited very well and all that, but I think we need to get more shots of our passengers and guests to show how much people enjoy coming out to ride. Other than that, I think it's great.
Yeah, good point. I'll pass it on to Matt. Everyone else?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Well, good. Glad everyone enjoyed that. So let's get down to the boring parts of staging this, starting with budgeting for insurance.
All lined up and double checked for the ladder track 12. Come on ahead for 3 car lengths past the switch. Got half a car length to a stop. 10 feet. 5, 3, 2, 1. Alright, stretch them out. That'll do. 3-step. Conductor to 12, release the 3-step. Take us past the switch. Half a car length. Anywhere there will do.
Sounds good. Thanks for your help, Matt. What? That's... I don't believe that. There's no way a trip to Beaver could sell out faster than our usual trips there. But how would the word get out so fast that... Oh. Hey, Alvin.
Yes, sir?
Who manages the social media for 5344?
We've got that delegated to 4 of our tech-savvy members. Locally, Twyla handles most of the content that gets posted.
Huh. Well, tell her thanks for sharing the Nightingale ad for us. That was a kind gesture.
You bet. It's hard to believe that's less than a month away now. Feeling ready?
I'm getting there. Got lots to look forward to.
So do we. The guys who've done this exact type of event before say that we're going to have a blast. Anyway, gotta get this air filter to those two so we can get 2585 ready for its COT&S tomorrow. Take care, James.
Alrighty.
Everything looking good here?
As much as it can. I'm hoping it stays that way.
We're counting on it too. We've got the best people in the business to depend on.
Yep.
James, we've got a great show for them. We're gonna make this work.
There's no better time than now. Let's do it.
Conductor to G&D 30, you're clear to bring her up to the platform.
All right, 30 clear to pull ahead to the depot. Everyone get your photogenic faces on.
The best in the business, am I right?
You ain't seen nothing yet. All right, G&D 30, we have all aboard. Take us ahead.
G&D 30 pulling north. Here we go.
Everything going good?
So far. I'll tell you what, this feels really similar to those charter trips we run to the vineyard.
Well, yeah, everyone's in period dress. We're using a vintage train. We're all going to a big social get-together. And the primary objective of the day is to just enjoy yourself. How is any of this alien to what we already do?
For one, not as much rowdiness, which I can tell pleases our car hosts.
Seeing everyone happy makes me happy too. I'd rather be doing something like this than anything else I can think of.
Excuse me, James, but you don't sound that enthused about this whole thing working well.
Hugh, how are you doing today, sir?
Pretty alright, James. It looks like you're at the top of your game today.
Well, we're glad you're enjoying the ride with us, Mr. Williams. As you can see, a lot of things have been happening since you retired from the board.
Thanks, James. It's been quite a while since I last got to ride, but you guys have come a long way from the old tourist railroad image all those years ago.
Yeah, I remember it all too well. Hard to believe how so long ago that was, too, and how we've gotten to this stage despite all the setbacks and milestones in that time. This was probably one of the better ways to commemorate 30 years of being a real living history museum.
Well, good. So, how would you describe your vision for the next 30 years?
Well, I think the best thing for us right now is to just keep doing what we're doing and provide the passenger train experience for people who've never traveled by train before.
Is that it?
What do you mean?
Well, you say how you settled for just doing the same things every year. But don't you have something in place that can help the Greater Milliard keep up in this ever-changing world? You and I know that the world will be completely different in less than 5 years.
Well, yeah, we do. We've had some problems over time like any group in this industry would, but we're welcoming of any and all positive changes in our future.
James, with a reply like that, you could have just said no, and I wouldn't have judged either way. James, I can't do as much as I used to, but I care deeply about the future of this place. You guys are preserving a treasure, and there's no sense in keeping it to yourselves. I see plenty of new faces staffing this train, and I think with that ad campaign you guys put out on Facebook, that this excursion is making you guys more than just an old train ride. Those qualities would put GMRM in the running with other pikes around the country.
Thanks. Yeah, we try.
I know that, and I'm not the only one who wants to help. Maybe you and I could set up some kind of advisory committee, made up of you and me, some of the old and some of the young, to pool our best ideas together. We really can be the greatest railway museum in the world if we wanted to.
I'll look into it.
How long were we on the train again?
About 2 hours. Feels like it should have gone longer because I was enjoying it.
Yeah, the live entertainment helped, but I think part of the reason it was as slow as it was because we were being pulled by a choo-choo.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Just look how fast he is.
So beautiful. They have a professional photographer here. We should get a formal shot with this train here.
First, cocktail.
So it's like the wine tasting trips for grown-ups, but this time for the whole family.
And not a complaint about leaking ceilings or dirty bathrooms. I could really get used to this.
Couldn't we all? Compared to what most tourist lines try, this is something entirely new, different, and fits in with a city as culturally diverse as here.
It sure is something to be proud of. I'm not sure if we'll be able to do anything this extravagant for the rest of the year, but I'll be exploring some partnering opportunities.
Oh, really? Partnering with who?
That's pretty interesting. So how would you describe your skill set?
Well, put it like this. If you tell me to take this part and put it in something, that's what I'm best at. Given enough variety of tasks, I can master more challenging things sooner than later.
That works for us. You don't have to walk in knowing how to machine an axle bearing, but our aim is to have you walking out of here knowing how to do that.
Right, that I can roll with. This is something I would never do at my old place.
Well, if you're itching to get your hands dirty, come on back and you'll see how to get a brake piston into its cylinder. You'll like it, honest.
Great meeting you guys.
Same here. Don't let Peter let you into the steamer. That's Alvin's job.
I'm gonna remember that when we're double-heading our engines next year.
Haha. Don't put the cart in front of the horse, Alvin. You still gotta help us get 1255 out of the door under its own power, don't you forget.
Yeah, that's right. We've got our own things in the works too, but we'll gladly save a seat for you if you want to come along.
Sounds good to me. Alright, Alvin. I'll see you in the new year.
Looking forward to it, James. See you there.
Working the livelong day has its perks, doesn't it?
There's hardships and setbacks with any kind of job, but this one feels a little more worthwhile.
This is a good business to be in. I think we're all lucky to have a part in it.
Yeah, I'm glad that we're not the only ones doing this.